Hello everyone. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the programming drills that you'll be doing in this training. So many of you must be, for many of you, Python must be the first programming language. And for others, maybe you have done a little bit of programming before, but you do not have a lot of experience. So this is, uh, so to get good at programming, what is the best way? So one of the best ways is to learn by immersion. Like in general, whenever you're learning a new language, the best recommended way is that you go to a place where that language is spoken and directly immerse yourself in it. Like reading the grammar of the language or studying it from books is not as efficient as actually directly starting to speak it. Okay, so one of the best ways to learn is immersion. So how can we use immersion in learning programming languages? Okay, so if you start writing correct programs on your own, in the beginning, that can be very demotivating because you will be making a lot of errors while you do that. Okay, and constantly you will be encountering errors and you won't be able to progress forward. And whereas immersion requires that you be able to generate a lot of output uh, on a consistent basis. Okay, so how can we do that? So one of the best ways in which any skill is learned, like music or art or other like skills which have a long history of training and teaching, the way that they do is by doing a lots of drills. Okay, so drills are are things where uh, you are exactly told what you need to do and you just try to replicate that. You don't try to do something new or novel, you just try to replicate whatever you are asked to do. Okay, so these programming drills that we are going to be doing, they are going to be exactly the same. So these drills will be basically in 3 steps. So what you have to do is go through each exercise. You have to type in exactly what you're asked to type. Okay, you have to make sure that whatever uh, you're asked to type in the file, it matches exactly what is given to you, and then you have to make it run. But while you actually type, you will make a lot of mistakes. So what you need to do is you need to compare with what we have given you, spot the differences, and then fix it. So the 3 essential skills which a programmer needs are reading and writing, attention to detail, and spotting differences. Okay, so attention to detail is something which separates the good from the bad in any profession, and it is the same in programming. You need to able to spot, just like in the previous video we saw how missing a single quotation mark gave you a syntax error, right? So you need to be able to spot these errors very quickly. So that is what I mean by attention to detail and spotting differences. So these 3 things are tied together. So you need to be able to spot those tiny differences which are creating the bugs in your program, to be able to debug your program so that they run correctly. And some guidelines in doing this is that when you're stuck, when you face an error which you're unable to solve, so try to ask questions about it. Try to ask like, in which step is the program going wrong? Can I go back to a previous step and see what is the output which is causing this? Don't simply stare at the code. That will not give you the insight into where the mistake is happening. Instead, you must ask questions to the program and try to extract those answers by writing some print statements or stuff like that, which we'll be discussing again further. And next thing is, don't copy paste the code, type it using your own hands, so that you train your hands and brain to read and write and see code. Okay, but in this we have figured out some very interesting ways so that you cannot actually copy paste code. Another important tip that I would like to give is that, so as a precursor to programming, typing is a skill which will be very useful to you. Okay, so most of you, I do not think that unless you have done a lot of programming or typing in any other profession, you do not actually know touch typing, where you can actually type without looking at the keyboard. Okay, so initially typing becomes a bottleneck for programmers because they type very slowly, and so they cannot experiment quickly. So I would encourage that you spend at least 10 to 15 minutes every day learning to type. There are many resources on the on the internet where you can learn to type, and just by spending 10 to 15 minutes over a few weeks, you can get very much better at typing, and that will help you a lot in your programming journey. Okay, so now I'd just like to give you a demo of uh, the how these drills are going to look like. So this is an example of the first programming drill that you'll be given. Okay, so you cannot edit this file directly. So go to File and select Save a Copy in Drive. So what this will do is this will create your own copy of this file which you can edit yourself. Okay, so say open in new tab. All right. So now, so this is our first drill. Okay. So in this, I'm giving you an image here of what you need to type in. Okay. And what is the expected output that you will receive when you actually run it. Okay. So the way we have ensured that you cannot copy paste this is because you cannot select text from this image. You're forced to type it in. Okay. But trust me that only by typing in will you actually begin this process of immersion into the programming language. Okay, so all you need to do is here you're given some space, right? Write your code here. So just try to type in this code here exactly. So here I'll say print hello world and try to be as exact as possible. Hello again, this is an AI course. Print this is fun. So while you're typing, also try to vocalize what you're actually typing, so that that creates like another layer of connection to the programming language. So when you say out things what you're actually typing, that creates another pathway or another type of reinforcement and helps you learn faster. So print it is, and there are single quotes in this, apparently illusory, full stop, print, he told me you got this. Okay, now when I run this, so to run this you can press shift plus enter in Colab. So now here you get this output. Okay, when you run this cell you can also use this play button to run it. So now just compare this output with the expected output and try to make it as exactly as possible. So hello world, hello again, this is an AI course. Okay, so in this it is matching exact. Now assume that I had made a mistake here and I forgot the parenthesis. Okay, now if I try to run this, so what will happen is I'll get an error. Okay, so just like here I got this syntax error, and Python is saying that in this line there is an error, print this is an AI course, syntax error, invalid syntax. But we know that the actual error uh, is in this line where I forgot this parenthesis, right? So that is the error, but Python is saying here there is an error. So in this way, many times the error messages which you encounter uh, will not exactly be the like the place Python is saying you have made an error won't be the exact place where the actual error has been made. Okay, so the Python interpreter is not so intelligent that it can exactly spot the space of the place where the error is occurring. The place where Python says an error is occurring will be close to or somehow connected to the actual place where the error is occurring, but you have to by experience only you will be able to figure out where exactly the error is occurring. Okay, so in this so that is why these drills are important, because whenever you make the whenever you make an error, what you need to do is you go back and line by line just try to see very carefully, slowly, exactly where you made the mistake. Okay, so here if you compare exactly, you will realize that okay, I forgot this parenthesis here, and by reading this error you will get this understanding or realization that even though the error has occurred in this line, in the line where you're printing hello again, but Python is pointing out that there is a syntax error in this line, that this is an AI course. Okay, so these are the things you'll be able to learn only using these drills. Fine, so that is the reason that these are the steps that write the exercises, run, make sure they match the expected output, and if they do not match the output, or if you get a different or if you run into an error, then compare again exactly with what you're asked to type and fix it, and then like make a connection of what was the error that you received and what was the mistake that you have made. Okay, so here I'll close this parenthesis, and when I run this, now again I get the correct result. Okay, so like that you have a lot more drills in this, and you'll also be getting further drills. So please do these drills. Do not consider them to be boring or repetitive. So this is how you'll begin immersing yourself into the language, and this can really speed up your learning curve. All right, that is for this video. Thank you.